back. You're watching Trading Day with us on BTVI. Well, before we go across to our guest, let's quickly look at the IT stocks, which have seen some serious cut coming about in the last 15 to 20 minutes. Your top loser on Nifty is currently Infosys, which has tumbled nearly 3%, trading at levels of about 953 now. In fact, you've also got HCL Technologies and Wipro. The entire IT space has been reeling under pressure. The Nifty IT index is down by about 1.5%. Let's remind our viewers, we're going to be getting Infosys numbers this week on Thursday. So just ahead of that earnings season, you're seeing these cuts coming about for the IT sector, a space which has actually not performed in the last financial year. Let's go across to our guest and get a better sense of the market. We're joined by Natasha Shankar, who's a Vice President of Research at Yes Securities. We've also got Sameet Chauhan, Technical Analyst of Angel, joining us now. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining us on BTVI today. Good afternoon to both of you. Natasha, I would like to come to you first and talk about the IT space, which is reeling under pressure in today's trading session. Infosys has seen some serious cuts coming about. Do you recommend investors to buy IT stocks at these levels just because the valuations are cheap, or do you see more pain in the coming days?
So if you look at the IT stocks and you actually look at the valuations, if you compare, but if you look at the roadmap ahead and look at the risks that these stocks face in terms of the currency, in terms of the deal pipelines, in terms of the additional visa costs, in terms of protectionist policies in the largest economy that they service, that is the US economy. All these things, in our opinion, justify the valuations at which the stocks are trading. We would prefer to wait and see how these things play out and how the deal pipelines actually shape up, which would be we would get some more visibility in the upcoming quarterly season before going buy on these stocks. As of now, we continue to maintain a neutral view on the IT stocks.
Right. In fact, let's get in Sameet's view on some of them as well. Most of these stocks cracking in trade. Sameet, what are you making of the moves over here? Does it make sense to initiate fresh shorts on something like a Infi or a TCS, HCL Tech? Of course, earnings also coming up for entry later this week.
See, clearly, the entire IT space has been underperforming of late. We have already seen a decent cut in Infosys in last 3-4 days, ever since it has broken its important support level of 1,000. Looking at the daily chart, it appears that the trend is likely to be downwards at least for next few days. So this stock might retest lower levels of say 935, 925 over the next few sessions. However, going short at current level would be a difficult task since it has already corrected more than 50-70 points in last 3 days. So risk to reward ratio wise, it doesn't make sense going short at current level. But those who have shorted at higher level, they should keep their positions at least towards 935, 930 seems to be a very strong support. So we could see this correction extending toward those levels. So those who are shorted at higher level, they can keep their positions, but fresh shorting at current level would be a very difficult call.
All right. Well, talking about IT, there are some comments coming in from Gartner where they've said worldwide IT spending forecast will be to grow by about 1.4% in 2017. In fact, they've projected the spending to be around $3.5 trillion for the year. That's 2017. Well, let me talk about the markets again. And Natasha, the earnings season is going to start. Well, Q3 was not that great. According to you, which sectors could be posting good set of numbers, and which sector, according to you, will continue to reel under pressure when you look at earnings?
So if you're looking at a sequential growth, we believe that all the consumption-led sectors should see a much better quarter in this particular March ending quarter, I'm sorry, because the impact of demonetization would be going away, and we have seen an uptick as far as the consumption is concerned across sectors, particularly for consumer durables. With this early onset of summers coming in most parts of the country, we do believe that most of these companies have seen a lot of pre-buying happening, and they should be posting better set of numbers. Within the banking space too, we think that is a performance that should continue. In fact, PSU banks, they should performed relatively better than what they were performing earlier. Private banking too, we expect the kind of performance that we saw earlier, both in terms of their asset quality as well as in terms of their credit growth to continue in this current quarter as well. And finally, autos, we saw a lot of pre-buying coming in, particularly because of the change in emission norms. Yes, there would be an impact on inventory because of the the BS3 inventory which was left out. But at least for the March quarter, we believe that the kind of uptick in sales that they were able to see because of all the discounts that were offered in the last week of March, that should help them to report a better set of numbers.
Right. In fact, a couple of banks sitting at the highs of the day. So pull up a Yes Bank for you that's seeing gains of about 3% right now. That's the top gainer on the Bank Nifty. It's been a smart performer all throughout. Yes Bank has seen gains of almost 40% for the year so far, and it is one of the top gainers on the street as well. Federal Bank is the other big gainer at the moment. That's also seeing smart gains of about 2.5%, almost 3% at the moment. So Yes and Federal Bank, Samit, what's your call on them? Yes Bank, in fact, a couple of brokerage notes also coming in this morning. There's seeing targets of above 2,000 on the counter. But in the short term, what are the levels you're watching out for?
See, clearly there's no stopping for Yes Bank. It has been outperforming since last many months now. The stock has given a gradual upward rally since last 3 to 4 months, and it is clearly trading at all-time high, uncharted territory. So clearly, as I said, there's no stopping for this stock. 1550, 1560 was a near-term hurdle. This stock consolidated around this support, this resistance level for at least 3-4 days, and now again it has resumed its uptrend. So as far as levels are concerned, it would be very difficult to give levels since it is trading in uncharted territory. But if we consider price extension or ratios, certain ratios, now next important level to watch out for would be around 1640, 1650 for Yes Bank. And as I said, 1550, which was the earlier resistance, would now act as a very strong support. So those who have bought it at a higher level, they should stay put. But fresh buying would be very difficult to take a call at current level. But chart, as far as chart structure is concerned, it's been maintaining its high top Harbor formation. So trend is quite strong. As far as the levels for Federal Bank is concerned, yes, this particular stock has also given a good rally in last 3 to 4 months. However, in last couple of weeks, we witnessed some consolidation, and which is quite possible after giving a sharp up move. But looking at the broader degree chart structure, this stock has a potential to surpass 100 mark, and we would maintain our optimistic stance on this stock. One can initiate fresh longs on minor dips. 84, 82 seems to be a near-term support. So risk to reward ratio wise, that becomes a very good buying opportunity. So one can initiate by around 84, 82, keeping a strict stop loss around 78, and looking at the broader degree chart structure, the stock can move towards 100, 104.
All right, that's the call coming in on Yes Bank. The stock's trading above those levels of 1600 at the moment. Samit, the oil marketing companies have been doing pretty well. In fact, it's the second straight session of gains coming in for them. BPCL, IOC, HPCL. How are the charts looking for these companies? Do you recommend any fresh positions on these stocks, or one should look to book profits?
See, chart structure is quite strong. Of late, we witnessed some consolidation after giving a massive rally in last couple of years. However, as far as levels for BPCL is concerned, 620, 640 seems to be a very strong base now. And in last 3 days, clearly most of the OMC stocks are clearly on a roll. If we talk about levels now, the stock is on the verge of giving a fresh breakout from its recent peak, and we can see extension of this rally at least towards 722, 725. But as I said, this stock has already given a sharp rally in last couple of days. So risk reward for momentum traders won't be that favorable. But if you have a medium term view, then any minor dip or consolidation within this strong uptrend would be a good buying opportunity for BPCL. As I said, 640, 620 seems to be a very strong support zone now, and this stock has a potential to move towards say 750, 760 over the next couple of months time.
In fact, Natasha, what are you making of some of these oil and gas names? So there's a report I have here from ICICI Direct. They're saying that GRMs and cracks have recovered from lows of March. So that is only good news for some of these companies going forward. Discounts on digital payments have not been fully passed to customers. And this is, of course, with regards to some of the private players also out there. Crude continues to firm up on back of those recent geopolitical concerns. Do you feel that oil and gas could be a good play going forward from these levels as well?
I think that within the oil and gas oil and gas sector too, you do have certain areas and certain pockets of value which are still available. City gas distribution being one of the key things that we continue to remain positive on. The stocks have excellent balance sheets. In fact, they have the fundamental strength on that side. They've delivered excellent returns on equity. They have been able to grow consistently year on year, albeit at a very flattish pace, but they've been able to grow their businesses. And with the kind of incremental penetration that we can expect there, plus incremental billing that we can expect over there, we think that that's a good space to be in. Plus, they've also given out very healthy dividends as well. Coming to the oil marketing companies, if you're looking at specifically the Indian scenario, in case the entire merger were to happen, which was proposed during the budget as well, of one major oil marketing company, and all of that actually going ahead and doing all the marketing part of it, that would be a big boost for the sector. So we do believe that the downside to that extent is protected, but yes, the upside too remains limited given the way the crude prices have moved. So within the space, just to reiterate, if you're looking at a long-term view, then remaining positive on the ONCs makes sense. But otherwise, we are more positive on the city gas distribution space rather than the entire ONC space.
All right, so positive on the city gas distribution space and also on the oil marketing companies which are doing well in today's session. Natasha, I want to get your view on the media stocks which have been performing pretty well in the past few sessions. In fact, today also the Nifty Media Index is one of the top gainers. You've got the likes of Eros Media, PVR, Sun TV. We've seen some good gains coming from these stock. Any of the stock you like in this space?
So I don't want to get into the stock specific comments on the space, but yes, overall the media space does continue to look attractive. If you're looking at the multiplex space, the kind of movie releases that we've seen in the recent past, that should help to drive their gross box office revenues. So we're positive on that side of things. With the way the digital thing is happening, and the phase 3 and phase 4 digitization, which is expected to be completed this year, and you would start seeing billing coming in on that side. So the MSO space also looks attractive to that extent, and MSOs who are also into the entire broadband space, so they look relatively quite attractive even at current levels, because the valuations are very healthy for these companies. Yes, they do tend to have very stretched balance sheets, but if you discount the kind of growth which is expected on the billing side, as well as improvement on the ARPUs, even to the inflationary extent, we think that that's a good space to be in.
Right. Pull up one of the mid-cap IT counters, and that's NIIT Limited. This one cracked about 10% in the morning. It's recovered from the lows of the day, but still down by about 5.5% at the moment. There's been a management change over there. Before I get Sameet's technical view on the stock, let's in fact hear out from the new CEO. This is Sapnesh Lalla. He's taken over after the previous CEO resigned last week. That was Rahul Keshav Patwardhan. Let's hear out what the new CEO at NIIT has to say about the road ahead for the mid-cap IT major.
I think the priorities on a go-forward basis are centered around growth. As you are probably aware, Rahul Patwardhan focused on restructuring and regeneration over the last 2.5 years, and the next step in the 3-point agenda is to focus on growth, and that's really what we are going to be focused on over the next couple of years. It was really compelling family circumstances. As you're probably aware, he's had to travel back and forth to Singapore very often, and I think he chose that that was not what he wanted to do on a go-forward basis, and that's really what caused his resignation.
All right, that was the new CEO of NIIT talking about the roadmap going ahead for the company. The stock, however, has recovered from its day's low, currently down by about 5 to 6 points. Let's also pull up the chart of these aviation companies which have surged in the last half an hour of trade. You've got the likes of Indigo, Jet Airways, SpiceJet. All these stocks have gained a bit about in the range of 3 to 5% gains coming in for about SpiceJet, Indigo as well as Jet. Sameet, any trade do you see on any of these aviation companies?
See, clearly from this space, Jet Airways has been our preferred pick since last many months. This has already given a very good rally after giving a fresh breakout around 400, 420 couple of months back. We have already witnessed a good rally in this stock. The stock is at present undergoing a corrective move. We don't interpret this as a price-wise correction. This is more of a time-wise correction, and it is likely to continue at least for next couple of weeks since it has already given a decent rally. So momentum traders, it would be very difficult to take a call, but if you have a directional call, say a couple of months from current day, then probably any minor dip towards say 485, 480 seems to be a very good buying opportunity. In the near term, 475, 470 seems to be a very strong base, and we don't see this stock falling below this important support zone. So with a near term view, it would be very difficult to give any trade setup. But if you have a medium term view, then as I said, it is clearly a buy on dips counter, and any minor dip towards 480 would be a good buying opportunity. And considering the broader degree chart structure, this stock can surpass its recent peak of 540, 545. In fact, we have a near-term, medium-term target of say 560, 565.
Sameet, just before we get down to market closing, any other trading ideas you want to share for us?
Yes, we are quite upbeat on the market, and we are interpreting this corrective move, as a very good buying opportunity. 9150, 9100 seems to be very strong support for Nifty, and hence we would like to stay on the long side. We have couple of recommendations on the long side. First one would be from two-wheeler space, Bajaj Auto, which has already given a sharp corrective move from recent peaks, and it seems that 2750, 2760 seems to be a very strong support zone. We've already seen a decent recovery, and it would be a very good buying opportunity for a target of 3030. Stop loss can be fixed around 2748. Our other buy call would be on Ambuja Cements. Last week clearly we witnessed a decent price volume breakout from a near-term hurdle of 240 on a closing basis. In last couple of days we have witnessed subdued movement in the stock, but we would interpret this as a very good buying opportunity for a target of say 255, 257 over the next few days, and stop loss can be fixed around 235.
Right, Sameet, Natasha, just hold on to your thoughts. About 90 seconds to go before we wind down today's trading action. We've traded mostly in a range near the lows of the day right now on the Nifty, back at that 91.75 mark, losing about 0.2%, but it really has been about a 50 odd point range that we've traded in for the day. Nifty Bank Index, that's done well, up about 0.5%, and like we were discussing, Yes Bank and Federal Bank, the top gainers over there. It's been a good day for OMCs as well. IOC is your top gainer on the street, 3.5% of a gain coming in there. BPCL has done well. Grasim Industries is the other big performer, up about 3% in trade. You also had good moves coming in for the likes of Bharti Infratel, that gained about 2.5%. Tata Motors was up about 2%. Adani Ports also did well. Bank of Baroda and Axis Bank from the banking pack were also strong in today's trade. In fact, most of the stocks, barring an HDFC Bank which saw minor cuts of 0.3%, all other 11 stocks on the Bank Nifty had a good day of trade today. Other stocks that look good in today's trading action, you had Coal India that gained about 1%. You had Hindalco that did well, Ambuja Cement and Z Entertainment, along with Tata Steel, Lupin, Sun Pharma, ITC and ACC also in positive territory. Stocks that didn't do too well, Infosys was down in trade, as also the rest of the IT pack, along with HCL Tech, Wipro and at TCS. Gartner coming out with a report, they're saying IT spends for the year 2017 growing by just about 1.4%, and that added to a dampener as far as IT stocks are concerned, which are already reeling from global headwinds and an appreciating rupee. Of course, Infosys earnings on Thursday will be the key variable to watch out for the space. Asian Paints down about 2% in trade. You had Indiabulls Housing that took a cut. RIL was also down 1.5% lower. You had the company on its website stating that new Jio plans are coming out soon, so we're keeping a close eye on that as well. Eicher Motors from the auto pack losing about 1% in trade. You had NTPC and Ultratech too that didn't do too well, but Navneet, it was a good day for the broader markets. Smart gains coming in over there.
Well, clearly, Deep, the BSE mid-cap index was up about 0.7%. Once again, there was stock picking seen in the broader markets. Well, if you look at a couple of gainers, Oberoi Realty surged in the last half an hour of trade. That was your top gainer on the mid-cap index, up about 5.3%. You had Divi's Laboratories, which gained about 5% in today's session on back of that news, which came about where US FDA has exempted a few products from that import alert, which has been issued to Divi's Laboratories. Aditya Birla Fashion did pretty well. That stock was up close to 5%. You also had Bank of India, which was one of your mid-cap gainer for the day, up about 4%. From the oil and gas space, you had MRPL, which was up 3.5%, and Max Financial continues to do well. That stock ended the day higher by about 3.5% gains. Actually, it also touched 52-week high in today's session. Bajaj Finserv, Bajaj Finance, both these stocks were up and about. You also had Bharat Electronics, which saw gains of nearly 3% coming in today's session. On the flip side, well, you had a couple of losers. Your top loser was Reliance Communication, which was down about close to 5%. In fact, on the future side also, we saw fresh short positions being created for this counter. Torrent Power is the other stock, cuts of 3%. Oracle Financial down about 3%. The entire IT space, in fact, today was down and about. Alchem Laboratories also was a tad weak in today's session. Adani Transmission and Bhushan Steel were your top gainers from your small cap index. Adani Transmission was up close to 16%. Bhushan Steel surged today close to 12% on back of that news that the management and the promoters have agreed for an S4A settlement, where they have also initiated conversations with the bankers. Besides that, you had upper circuit coming in for stocks like Jindal World, which was up close to 20%. Archie is also gained nearly 20% today, so that was also locked in upper circuit. Good gains seen there for ITDC, Hindustan Composites, and also Tata Sponge, which touched 52-week high, saw gains of nearly 12 to 13% coming in today's session. Well, overall, the market breadth was in favor of the advance is about 3:2 on National Stock Exchange, but the volumes have been on the lower side for the second straight session. Overall, today's turnover was about sub 3.5 lakh crore.
Right, Natasha, before we let you go, any big triggers to watch out for in the market? So earnings, of course, coming up. GST are given right now as well on the July 1 deadline. What would you say are the key triggers that one should keep on the radar, and really going forward from here, what is the kind of upside that you can expect with the market already flirting with record highs?
So I think if you're looking at the headline indices, further upside would be contained because just purely in terms of the valuations, it does look a little stretched. But stock-specific movement and sector-specific movement should continue. In fact, the kind of stocks and the kind of sectors where we are expecting a growth as far as earnings is also concerned within the mid-cap space and even within the small-cap space, we do think that it's not going to contribute that significantly into the headline indices like the Nifty or the Sensex, but if you're looking at stock and sector specific rallies, that should continue. Having said that, earnings of course would be one of the key triggers. The sectors as well as stocks where there is any kind of an outperformance vis-a-vis the estimates, we should see those stocks performing much better. But other than that, the markets are going to pretty much rely on the geopolitical events, particularly what's happening in the Middle East and what any announcements on the policy front coming in from the United States. Those would be the key triggers for global markets, and India would not be an exception to it.
All right, so that's the view coming in on the markets going ahead. And Deep, well, we've closed below that level of 9,200 today, and clearly it looks like the next cue for the market will be from the earnings and also what happens in the markets globally, because I believe the non-farm payroll data from US was below estimates and some kind of sell-off has been seen in the global markets.
So that'll be the big cue to watch out for. Monday blues on Dalal Street, but just slightly muted below the 9,200 mark. We'll wait and see what tomorrow's trading day has for us, and of course Infosys earnings on Thursday. But for now, Samit and Natasha, thank you for joining us on this leg of the trading day. Completely out of time. It's time for Rising Stars up next. Kunal Bajaj is the MD and co-founder at Clear Funds. He'll be with us.